Okay, so I think when people think about how plants can help them, they think of like diet-wise,
Right.
herbs, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then another way that I think people are familiar with plants aiding them is through sleep, and lavender comes to mind. Now, is lavender good for rest on a spiritual level, and what plants are best for rest?
For sleep in general?
Yeah.
So it kind of depends on the reasons why you're not sleeping.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
Yes, lavender's going to be, like, if you would only have one plant or one oil forever, you only had access to one thing.
This is like if you're stuck on an island with one.
Yes, if you're stuck on an island and you can only take one essential oil with you in this weird scenario, take lavender oil.
Okay.
But the reason lavender oil is so helpful, and people do associate it with helping them sleep, is that on the energetic and spiritual level, what lavender is going to do is it helps to unburden you from the things that are weighing you down. So that could be on the mental level, that could be on the emotional level, could even be on the spiritual level. Lots of times people obviously can't sleep for physical reasons. I'm not going to get into that because that's not my area of expertise. But you can kind of understand with the properties that lavender has why it can be so helpful for helping people fall asleep and just sort of letting go of the day, right? We have our Soulful Smile spray, which is, I didn't make it sort of with this intention, but the number of people that have come back and said, gosh, it really helps me when I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't go back to sleep. I use that as a pillow spray, and they find that it's really helpful. And my feeling is what's happening there is that it sort of cuts the ties emotionally with the day, so that you're not waking up and worrying about what happened or what's going to happen. It sort of lets that body get into the more restful state on the emotional level, so that you can get into sleep.
So lavender's really the OG for a reason.
Yeah, it's good
when
for
it
everything.
comes to sleep.
Even if you're just in a hotel room, like, it just spray it around everywhere. It's going to smell better, firstly, and it raises the vibrations of your space. So it's raising the vibration of you, it's raising the vibration of your space. So of course you're just going to feel better, and you're more able to relax in an environment where there's sort of a higher energetic vibrational state than if there's a bunch of lower vibrational stuff sticking around from whoever was there before, whatever their thoughts or feelings were. I mean, that stuff gets into the walls, it gets into the paint, like, literally.
Yeah. So maybe do a little liquid smudge and then bring out the lavender.
Yeah.
Would be the...
Or just, you can take liquid smudge because it has lavender in it.
Oh, perfect.
So then you're set.
Done.
But if you're on this proverbial island
and
you only have one thing, then you would have your lavender.
You would have your lavender.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now that we're on it, lavender is in liquid smudge. It's also in Soulful Smile, right?
Yeah.
And then it's in what? The Sunday soap?
It's in the Sunday soap.
And it's definitely in some custom elixirs.
And it's in our one soap too.
Right, it's in the one soap. Okay, and then it's in a handful of custom elixirs. I'll list it all below in case you're wanting some easy way to use lavender. But otherwise, just the essential oil.
Just the essential oil, which is really easy to get. I mean, I think you can even find that at, like, the grocery store, Shoppers Drug Mart. I would say the only word of caution I would have about when you're buying your lavender, if it's from sort of a source that's new to you, is make sure that it's not a hybrid. So what you're looking for is on the back of the label, they'll list the genus and the species of the plant that's in the bottle. If they don't list that, I would skip it, look for something else. But hybrid species are always going to have an X between the genus and the species of the plant. So that's the Latin words that tell you what plant that is. If there's an X between them, look for something else. And the reason I say that is because, number one, the hybrid species, they just haven't been around as long. So the energy that they carry is a little bit less concentrated. And then the second reason is they can smell a bit camphory, which can smell a bit sharp or a bit caustic. And sometimes people can have some pretty strong reactions to that.
And you and I talk about this all the time. Like, what we have here in the store is not your grandma's lavender.
No, it's definitely
what we call
not.
it. It's not your grandma's
We're
lavender.
Very picky about our lavender, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So we get lavender directly from growers in France that use that. The distillation comes to us, or it goes off into sort of the natural perfume industry, where people are using the actual extracts from the plant rather than using synthetic ingredients, because the synthetic ingredients they have their place, of course, but if you're looking for purity, and if you're looking to really get the benefits on the energetic and spiritual levels, you have to have the real plant. Just synthetics aren't going to cut it.
Of course. Okay. So the question was the best plants for rest, and it sounds like lavender's it.
Yeah, I mean, I could maybe come up with a list of more, but they probably would be a little bit more obscure plants.
Yeah.
That are difficult to get. And
no, it sounds like lavender is.
Yeah, I don't want to just give you an academic answer.
No, it sounds like lavender is what you need.
Lavender's what you need.
Cool.
It's easy to find.
It's so easy.
So get yourself a bottle of it.
Okay.
Always have it on hand.
And another interesting thing about lavender, I feel like you told me that like lavender is one of the essential oils or plants that you can't really overdo.
Well, I don't want to challenge anyone to try to overdo it, because you certainly could overdo it.
Right.
But I would say typically people have far less sensitivity to lavender than they're going to have to lots of our other oils. Of course, like the spicy oils and the citruses, you need to be very, very careful with those. But if you've got lavender in a spray or something like that, you can. It's wonderful.
Pretty user friendly.
Spray. It helps keep insects away. It makes everything smell good. So you don't have to be as careful when you're using it.
But you also don't have to physically apply it for the spiritual benefits.
No, you don't have to. No, you don't have to. The nice thing about lavender is you can. Of course, you're always going to be careful, as you would be with anything that you're going to put on your skin. If you have any sensitivity or irritation that comes up, you're going to want to stop using it. But it's a much more user-friendly oil. I would say it's the most user-friendly of all the essential oils.
Okay, yeah.
It just in the sense of like being able to find it, being able to use it. It's a great oil for that. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, lavender it is.